Dearest elegant crafters, a lady never attends a ball empty-handed. While her fan provides the flirtation, it is her reticule, or bag for the ball, that holds her secrets. Today we fashion a bag for signature 2, because one simply cannot be expected to carry a scandal in one's bare hands. Welcome back to Rosewood Manor. I'm Asara, and the candles are being lit for our most grand assembly yet. We are working within the second signature today, the very heart of our romance, where the ball takes place. Before we can dance, we must craft. This ephemera holder is designed to tuck perfectly onto our pages, ready to store the keepsakes of a night one shall never forget. Now do take note. The Manor gates open for new creative sessions twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday. If you choose to accompany me on this promenade, I promise you this: by the time our session concludes, you shall hold not just a stack of papers, but a fully completed heirloom journal in your hands. To ensure no one loses their way, I have curated all our future lessons into a single playlist. Think of it as your personal map through the Manor, allowing you to return to any chapter with ease. So do be sure to subscribe and ring the little bell. It is, after all, the only way to ensure the footman alerts you the very moment our next chapter arrives. Should you wish to procure these very same patterns and papers for your own journal, you will find a full inventory list tucked discreetly within the description box below. So this reticule or bag will go in the second signature where the couple is dancing. So I went ahead and made sure to match everything according to this color scheme a little bit. So if you want to follow along, you can choose the same page as well and choose the same papers and accessories. So what you will need is some lace, some ink, some glue, some scissors, of course, and some items that will go into your ephemera holder. I also printed out a smaller invitation, and this is from the horizontal pages kit, or the journal pages kit from the Regency romance kit, and I backed it with one of the pages as well. So we'll work with that in just a little bit. This is where you can decide how wide you want this bag to be, and I chose to have this bag about this wide. So it will be about this tall and this wide. So these are the measurements that you will need for your main sheet, which is 3.5 and 4.5. So when you fold the insert, you will fold it like this. One fold after 3.5 inches and one fold after 4.5 inches. And this is also the width of your outside of the bag, is 4.5 inches. That's what I chose. You can, of course, make it a little wider or a little more narrow. That's your choice. So I printed out this page from the background papers on cardstock, and this is the back side of it. So whatever you want to print on the back here, you won't be seeing much of it, but you will see some, so it's nice to have something printed on it. And then I also chose another page from the background pages, and this is this page here. And I printed this on just regular printer paper, so it's nice and malleable. So first thing I will do is to cut this 5.5 inches. And then this here is whatever length you have after you cut off the borders My printer doesn't print borderless, so there is a little bit of a difference here in the length. But it doesn't matter. What really matters is this here. This determines the width of your bag. So I'll just make a little mark here and mark here. And then we will glue this overlapping page on this here, in this part. So now you have a little tube here. Then we'll fold it in half. I choose to have the seam of this on the outside of the fold. So you can see the seam here. And we'll fold it like so. And that is the insert. And now we want to make sure to glue the insert together. For me, I like to have just 2 open pockets like so. So I will go ahead and glue these 2 together. So now you have 2 pockets here. So now what we want to do is to fold the inside. Want to fold this outside of the bag like so, and I like to leave just a tiny bit overlap from the outside so that the insert of the bag is nicely tucked in. And then we'll just fold it over like so. Let's just do this. Eyeball it. There we go. Beautiful. And one more fold over like so. And now you have the beginning of your bag. And here you have all your goodies. Before we continue now, let's see. I want to round the edges. So I'm going to use a corner rounder here. And I'm going to use the large size on this corner rounder. So whatever you have available. I love this corner rounder. I've tried many. And this is by far the best one. Beautiful. And so now we can, if we like, to add a little bit of inking on the edges. So when you look inside, you can see that the design displays differently. This one is a really nice part of the design, so I want this to be more visible when you open the bag. And then you have the other side, it's kind of more upside down. So now let's glue our little bag insert. And remember, this is just a small little bag for your ball, and you don't want it to be too bulky. That was the intent here. Otherwise, I could have used 4 of these inserts. But this is a little dainty bag for the ball, so we don't want to make it too thick. So let's glue this little insert in. Let's make sure I have the right side here. Yeah. Make sure this closes properly. So while it is still flexible, make sure you fold it over to make sure. So I put the glue only on one side because I want to add the closure to this bag first before I finally glue this part down. So the total here is 4.5. So we will be using 2 1/4. And I'll place that like so. One dot here and one dot here. And for this one, I'm gonna use an owl because I can't reach with my hole punch. If you don't have a crocodile, you can simply use a little coin closure where you poke a hole in a punched out circle and fasten it with a brad. And then you can string a little bit of embroidery yarn around it. So now it is time to glue the insert to the outside of the bag. Here we go. Needful. And so for this closure, I'm going to use a little bit of ribbon here. Let's tie a knot. Let's close this bag. So you can, of course, make any closure that you prefer. So I'm going to leave these uncut yet because I want to now add a little bit of lace to our bag to make it, of course, very opulent. So I was thinking to add this here. So it's going to be a really fancy bag because this is the ball after all. So we want to make sure we go all out for this occasion. So this is what it would look like. So these are the 2 different laces. So any lace that you can find that you think is perhaps a little fancier. So that would go very well with this. All right, so let's stick this lace on to make sure it looks nice and elevated. And for this, I use the Art Glitter Glue. This is not the bottle it comes in, but for me, I made this little decoration. All right, beautiful. Yeah. So we'll glue a little handle on. So we stick this on here. And then go around. I think I took a little too much fabric, so let's adjust that here. Okay. There we go. Yes. I can cut off the end. And now it's time to fill our bag. So the first thing that I wanted to add is this invitation that would be maybe a nice little trinket to add. So we'll add this like so. Does that fit? Yeah. So I'm going to ink that so it looks a little bit more lived in. I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide in Frayed Burlap. That's kind of like the main color of the ink I'm using throughout the journal. I just want to ink where it's folded, like so. And I always keep them upside down so that the ink pad is always nice and full. And so here are some of the trinkets that will be in our bag. So we have our invitation, we have a fan, we have some gloves, of course, and some little love notes, and perhaps a little dance card here. And so let's fill our bag with all of the goodies. So we'll have our invitation and our fan, our gloves, and our dance card, and some secret love notes. There, securely fastened and ready for the first violin to strike a chord. But do not wander too far from the punch bowl, my dears. This Friday, the music reaches a crescendo. We shall be finishing Signature 2 in its entirety, revealing the grandest pages of the ball and perhaps a first kiss hidden behind a velvet curtain. Ensure your quills are ready, for the guest list is nearly full. Until Friday, yours in lace and ribbons and with much love, Asara. Good day.